Good morning. Here I am trying again to do a little throwback for you guys because I know we all enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. You enjoyed it. I'm talking really fast because I got to go. Here's my outfit today. All of this, with the exception of the white shirt underneath, is from Old Navy. I'm wearing some jeans from Old Navy. They're not real jeans because they have elastic in the back. They have these pockets here. I got these over the summer. I'm wearing this shirt from Old Navy that I also got over the summer. On Wednesdays, I have to wear green, so there's that. The shirt underneath is just a basic V-neck t-shirt from Target. I'm wearing these slides from Tory Burch. There's Luna, who's also doing a throwback because Genesis used to show up in these little clips. I am wearing a bracelet from Uncommon James. This ring is from Ana Luisa. Wearing my brown frames from Warby Parker. And just some hoop earrings. Got a classroom. School hasn't started yet. And I have a couple of random thoughts I'd like to share that are not related to each other in any way. And probably have nothing to do with, you know, work. But I just feel the need to share it. And I don't know that I have prep today, so I'm going to share it now. Thought number one is I hope you guys are not judging me because my hair is always up in this bun. I don't know why I'm so self-conscious about that because most people don't change their hairstyle from day to day. But I feel like I'm supposed to be doing that. And I'm just not, so I really hope that you guys bear with me in this little messy bun that I put up. It's just like when you're working, something about not having any hair touch you just makes me feel like I get more accomplished, so there's that. Number two, the ecosystem of the parking lot is just out of whack. Everybody's just parking everywhere. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And my parking spot that I've established, I feel like for the past couple years, is just being taken over by different people at different times. And I'm just always in a different place in that parking lot. And the type A in me is just really having a hard time dealing with that. Thirdly, what else was I going to say? There was a third thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the third thing is. I just got so overwhelmed by the parking lot situation. Oh, the third thing is I came in and I was trying to move something on one of the tables over there, and I couldn't quite get it in my hand correctly because I had my backpack on and my purse and this and that, and like it was like making me hold it with my nail, and then I panicked and I dropped it because my nails right now, they're just giving up on life. Like these are my nails with the exception of a couple that I've cracked, and so there's an extender on it, but the length on the majority of my nails is mine. Now, my nails are also paper thin. As I've said to many, what God gave me in hearing, because my hearing is pretty good, he did not give me in thickness of hair, eyesight, and thickness of nails. So my nails are paper thin. And they keep cracking in the exact same place. And so I was telling the manicurist about this the last time I got my nails done, and she uttered the words, well, maybe you need to just go shorter or cut them all the way down. And when she said that, the recoil in my soul was real. And then she had to calm me down because she's like, when you first started coming here, your nails were not as long as they are now. Which is true. I was going to a different person before who was also very gifted in nail artistry, but was just kind of far away. It's the same person, if you follow Megan at Too Cool for Middle School, same person she goes to. But then I found this woman that's very close and just as talented. And I don't know, like I think they just have gotten longer, and I've just gotten used to seeing my nails that long, and I just like it. I like the look. I like that of it all. But because my nails are so thin, I think there's a threshold with length. I don't know why either. There's a threshold with length that I have, or that my nails have, I should say. And once they get past a certain point, then they become extremely prone to breaking. So I have to accept that, and I might have to go shorter. And those are the three random thoughts that I wanted to share with you. They have nothing to do with work. They have nothing to do with each other, but it was just something that I wanted to get off my chest to start the day. So here I am. My first period is leadership, but I have a feeling our school counselor is coming in to do a presentation during this particular day. Let me see. Friendly reminder, today is Wednesday. Oh no, she's coming tomorrow. Which is good, because that means in leadership we can actually start the 7 habits of highly effective teens, which I've been saying we're gonna do for a while. So anyway, I'm gonna check in with you later. I don't have a full prep. I don't know if I have any time on my prep, so it's very possible that I won't see you until after school. I will try and get some footage of the town hall meetings as well, but we'll see. So I'll see you later. All right, it is after school. It's probably about 3 o'clock, and I haven't talked to you since this morning. I really thought I was going to be able to get some footage during the town hall meeting, but I never got a chance to message the parent that is actually a friend of mine from my days teaching elementary school to see if it was okay that if I got her daughter on camera. So I didn't even think to get out the camera or anything like that. But we had the Colonial Fair, not the Colonial Fair, I keep saying Colonial Fair. We had our first town hall meeting. Again, there's 4 of them. This is coming directly from the textbook. So I saw the comments from yesterday's vlog, and someone was asking me if I have an actual adopted curriculum or I can just kind of, you know, use supplemental items. And I don't know if they're asking because they're asking, is this activity from the textbook or am I making this up? Or if it's because I talked about using Scholastic magazines yesterday. But the answer to that question is yes, I have curriculum for my core subjects, and my core subjects would be history and language arts. So the town hall meeting as well as the Colonial Fair is actually from the textbook. We use TCI or History Alive, and so these activities come from there. They do have quite a few activities that I have enjoyed over the years, and the town hall meetings is one of them. So today was the first one. I do have my collection of costumes. Like, these are really, like, I have a dress, I have pieces of colonial outfits, and I just have every student wear a little bit of something so they feel like they're involved. This, I think, is a sweatshirt I got. If it's not this one, it's something very similar. But I'm trying to just increase the collection of these sweatshirts because they're very easy to just throw on and, you know, give the illusion of like a loyalist, a patriot, or a neutralist, and makes the kids feel like they're doing something. Some kids wear just a quick little apron. Some kids have on a little hair piece. Some kids, like, the thing that they're wearing doesn't even match the person, but at that point it's just all in good fun. I bring the podium. I'll actually show you the podium. This is a podium that belongs to the school that we have during staff meetings, but I asked that the podium be moved to my classroom, and so far it's not been an issue. The principal arranged that for me today, and I'm the moderator of the town hall meeting. I have a gavel and everything, and I use a very weak attempt at an English accent, and some of the kids will do the same, like they'll speak in a British accent, some won't. I tell them they don't have to, and if trying to do that will become too much of a distraction from what they need to say and the information they need to convey, then I tell them don't do it. It's not like your grade doesn't depend on it. So there's 4 in total. We had the first one today. And I don't think I mentioned, but last year I found this like clip on YouTube that has just several clips of town hall meetings from the show Gilmore Girls. So I showed that ahead of time so they saw what does a town hall meeting look like, and then we talk about the purpose of a town hall meeting so they understand what their job is when they get called up to be one of the panelists. And so I go over that, and then basically you teach like a section or 2 in the history textbook, and then it's time for the next town hall meeting. And each town hall meeting is centered around certain events that led up to the Revolutionary War. So today's was focused on the Proclamation of 1763, the Stamp Act, and the Quartering Act. So we read that section, we talked about it, and then they get a day to prepare for the first town hall meeting. And this is the only assignment, maybe one of 2, that I allow them to pick their groups. Like, for whatever reason, this one I'm like, go ahead and pick your groups. Like, but I also give them the speech of, if you pick poorly, that's gonna be on you. and then they get a day with their group to prepare. So this is what I created to prepare. This is not from the textbook. This I just made, that's not what I want to show. This I just made for the accountability piece and kind of to guide them through what it means to prepare. So they put their panel member's name, which they get from one of these roll cards, like they might be John Adams or Mercy Otis Warren, and it will tell them information about their person. They'll put their person's name there, indicate whether they're a patriot, loyalist, or neutralist, and then they respond to a set of questions I give them. Like, in this case, they have to decide if the Proclamation of 1763 is fair or unfair, if the Stamp Act was fair or unfair, and the Quartering Act. And again, telling them based on your person and the information that you have been provided, how would they answer those questions? Then they have to decide, would your person want to comply with British authority, oppose or protest, or I'm sorry, oppose or rebel. And then they have to draft a little statement. This is like their opening statement at the town hall meeting. And then they have to be prepared with like some counter arguments. So it does a pretty good job of preparing them so they aren't just getting up here and being like lost as to what to say as a panelist. They never know who I'm gonna call on, so they just know at any given moment you have to be ready, because they don't know who's going to be the panelist until like moments before, and that just kind of keeps them on their toes. I also distribute questions throughout the community or the students that are not actually on the panel, and they're just questions. I think I came up with these questions like last year at the last minute, so I distribute them. And then I just give them to the kids and say at some point during the town hall session, you have to ask this question. And they do. And it's pretty fun. Like, it is educational, but it always ends up being fun because kids are trying accents and that's funny, and the kids are wearing costumes. But at the same time, you can tell whether or not a student has learned what they needed to learn about what it meant to be a loyalist, a patriot, or a neutralist, and in relationship to their person. So we did that. I would count that as a success. And then in language arts today, I read this book, The Day the Crayons Quit, which was, or is, one of my favorite picture books, because I wanted to talk about recognizing tone, mood, and point of view in stories. And so today I'm trying to be very explicit, again, having that conversation of like, the things that authors choose to do with their stories are not happenstance. Like, everything they choose to do is done for a reason, down to whether the story is told in first person or second person, down to whether this word is capitalized or not capitalized. And so we talked about that at the beginning. Then I said, I'm going to read you this book, gave them the task of identifying, are these letters by these crayons written in first person, second person, or third, and then identifying the mood like of each. And they recognized that the mood and tone of each was different based on the grievance that the crayon had with Duncan, who's the little boy in the book. And then we transferred that to, okay, let's talk about the telltale heart. Okay, what point of view was that told in? And they were able to immediately identify first person. And then we talked about like, why do you think Edgar Allan Poe wanted that story to be told in first person? After, of course, we discussed, why did the author make this story told in first person point of view for every single crayon? And they were able to say, so that you knew where that crayon was coming from, how that crayon was feeling, their perception of things. And so we transferred that conversation to the telltale heart. And again, having to remind students, like, as we're having these conversations, you should be taking notes in your book about these things, because we're having these conversations for a reason, either to build a skill set for you in the long range, or because you're going to need to be able to identify some of this stuff when you take the test. So I'm going to have to do a better job of being more explicit in that way. But all in all, I think the day went well. The only downfall is in my switch class, which is the class I have in the afternoon, we didn't do language arts at all, because there was an issue I had to resolve after lunch that took up some time. And then they need time to kind of get themselves together one last time before the town hall meeting starts. That takes a while, so I already told them we have to double up in language arts tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. But that's what happened. I now need to straighten up my desk. Looks like this. Stuff is everywhere. And make sure I'm ready for tomorrow, and try and not be depressed about the state of the system of education, because we did have our PLC meeting today, which is why I didn't have a prep. And I used PLC lightly because that's just what they're called, but I don't know if they are actually PLC meetings. And most of the time I'm pretty quiet in those meetings. I don't really say much of anything, and sometimes I'll just be triggered by something. And today it was just being triggered by the fact that, you know, as a teacher in language arts, I just feel like we are doing the kids a disservice, not because we want to, but just because of how the education system is designed to just like move at this pace that just really isn't helpful. Like, I think in America, we need to learn that less is more. Like, have less standards to cover, but cover them in more and greater detail. And I truly believe you will yield the results that you ultimately want, because kids will, when they know something, they will really know it. Right now, I feel like the way things are designed with the system is like, we're all about just exposing. Like, that's truly what it is. I think people think that we're going in depth, but to me, it's just a lot of exposure where kids don't even have the time to like sit with new skills and information and process it before moving on to the next thing. So I got triggered by that thought today, and there went that. But I need to get to work, and I've been rambling on for about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna clean this up, do some work, and I'll check in with you later, or check in after. So I'm getting ready to go home, and here is my closing thought as I'm going home. I'm not even 100%. I have everything ready for tomorrow, but I didn't accomplish everything that I wanted to do before I went home for the day. But again, it's getting darker earlier, so I have to be mindful of getting home at a certain time to walk the dogs. But I was telling someone the other day, I gotta put you back down. What's very hard right now, what's causing me a lot of stress in teaching, is I feel like I'm a computer with like several tabs opening, like several tabs open, excuse me, like 20 tabs open, and like they're all buffering all simultaneously. Like, that is what my brain feels like, because I feel like what's making me tired, and leave a comment if you can relate, and I think what makes a lot of teachers tired is you feel like you don't have time to complete a full thought before another thought is arriving, whether that be like you're generating new thoughts, like maybe you come up with a new idea, or you're like right in the middle of something, or right in the middle of a thought, or right in the middle of planning, or right in the middle of anything, and then you're interrupted by something else that you have to think about that's just as equally as important, or just as equally as time sensitive. Let me put you down here. And so that's how I feel. Like right now, these are the current battles. These are the current tabs that are open. Obviously, in general, I want to feel like I'm a very good and effective teacher, which I generally do. But there are things that I know I could be doing to be even better. But that also requires a certain amount of time to be able to sit and really think through the ideas that I have that I think would make me better. But I also have other responsibilities, like being a union rep, and I need to make sure I'm doing that right. Being the leadership teacher, there's 10,000 things going on at once with that. Different strategies I want to implement in my classroom, new lesson ideas that I want to try, and they're all those thoughts are happening simultaneously. But I'm also trying to be a better person and be more balanced and be calm and put proper things in place for me to do that. And I'm trying to get sleep, and I need to walk the dogs, and I need to make sure my house is clean, and and it just is overwhelming and tiring. So I'm going home right now only because it's 5 o'clock and it's gonna get dark soon. And I need like a quiet space, and I think I have so many tabs open that I don't even know if I have the proper amount of brain capacity to make a list of all the things that I really wanna sit down in a quiet space and think about. And every day, I leave here feeling like that, like there's things that are on my mind that I kind of remember, but then I'll forget about, but then I'll remember, and then I mean to write them down, and then I can't get the time to write them down. So then another day comes, I'm like, you have all these things on your mind, and you need to write them down because you need to remember. And that mental cycle is just exhausting. It's exhausting. But at the same time, the very thing that exhausts me, which is teaching, is something that I really do enjoy doing. But then I also have this tab open. The system is broken, and you're working in a system that is broken, and everybody knows it's broken, but no one's really doing anything about it. And yet you still have to work in the system that's broken and pretend like the system is not broken while you're working in it. It's all very mentally tiring. And so on that frantic note, I'm gonna close this vlog. Hopefully all of that made sense. I think if you're a teacher, it does, and you understand what I mean. There are days where I crave a job that is very like linear and singular task oriented. Like I go into the office and I do this one task, and 70 people, or let's just be more realistic, and 35 kids aren't there potentially to interrupt me with questions or needs or statements, or the office isn't gonna call, or I'm not gonna get 10,000 emails. Like I could just go to the space, do my job uninterrupted, and like complete a thought. I think I perpetually am in a state where I feel like I'm not completing full thoughts and ideas and thought patterns. And I really want to, but I can't get to that point, and it's tiring. So I'm gonna go home and try and mitigate that, which is what I do when I go home every day, and tell myself tomorrow's a new day, and tomorrow you'll have a little bit more clarity of mind, knowing that I probably won't. But before I go, because I do plan on uploading this tonight, if you are interested in getting yourself a free year's subscription, to Scholastic Plus magazines, remember they have magazines from pre-K to 12th grade. Make sure you do go to my Instagram page. I posted the giveaway post today. I probably won't put anything else up while the giveaway is going on so it doesn't get lost. The rules to enter the contest are very simple. Someone will be drawn at random, so you definitely want to head over there because I truly am enjoying it. And yes, this is a partnership and a collaboration with them, but I don't partner up or collaborate with anything or anybody that I truly and honestly would not use in my classroom, and that I truly and honestly am not finding value and enjoying. So if you want to enter the giveaway, I would encourage you to do so. A year subscription is a little over $300, so it's pretty valuable. But if you enjoyed today's vlog and you understood all my frantic statements just now, or you want to support me through my frantic thought process, just go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I will definitely respond to it at my earliest convenience. If you're enjoying the daily vlogs, please put that in the comment to keep me encouraged. And as always, I hope that you guys are well. And if you're not well, please be well. And I'll see you tomorrow for a new day.